Hey everybody, welcome to Woodworking Wisdom. My name's Colwin, and today is another training session with Steph. Really sorry that we're a few minutes late. Steph was just adjusting her fringe. Hello, Steph.
I can't believe you blamed that on my fringe. Not true at all. We had a few connection issues, but I am back and ready to do some spindle turning.
We're back. Well, we've covered a bowl so far. Ben and Steph have covered a pen, and so by popular demand, you're going to do some spindle work.
Indeed, I'm doing it all the wrong way round. Ending with the spindle.
Ending with the spindle, exactly. So you know the form, everybody. We've got Ben on cameras and questions and all the trickery over there. And usual thing, just ask him the questions and we'll do our best to answer them as best as we can, or even demonstrate them now as well. So we've got the three cameras, we've got the overhead, we've got the this one here, the presenter, and we've got down the line as well. So we should be able to cover most angles, hopefully. And so I think we'll just crack on. While Ben's having a coughing fit over there, let's just crack on, load up between centres. And we'll also change the tool rest in a moment as well to the longer one. So
at least he's coughing quietly. Right.
We know that Steph has done a little bit of turning before. I.e. the bowl, which was amazing. If you haven't seen that bowl video, have a look at it. It's a really pretty looking bowl.
It is.
And the pen.
Yeah, I still use the pen. Love that pen.
The pen.
It's a great pen kit. Well, this is trickier than it looks, isn't it?
So what I would do, it's quite easy because there's 101 things to do when you're setting something up on the lathe. So I would lock one of those things in position. Generally, I tend to lock the casting of the tailstock.
Right.
So lock that one up. And then if you put, so let me just demonstrate very briefly.
Go for it.
So if you, I won't do it, but I'll show you. If you literally hold the piece of timber and support the tailstock at the same time, then that frees you up. Rather than if you just do that, you tend to be wobbling around all over the place.
Yeah, I found that.
So you got it?
I'll let you line up the top this time.
Yeah, you do that one.
Oh, what? I need to come back now. Okay, it is actually
a little bit of pressure on there. So that's got a slot in the slots. We've already knocked the tailstock center in, so it's created that little mark, that little those little 4 prongs.
Right, so that way.
So that's it. But hold both of them together, and that just supports everything. And to start with, that's it. So a little bit of pressure. Once you feel resistance, then I would give the handle about half a turn. Okay. And then lock the tailstock. So that's locked now. So if you lock this one, and that just locking of the quill, if there's any vibration, it stops the vibration through the lathe undoing the handle slightly, which can then lead to that tailstock coming back a little bit, enough to make this spin freely, the drive center spin. So we don't want that. If you change the tool rest now, so we'll go with the big 14-inch tool rest.
That tight, don't you? Which one? This one?
That's it, yeah. And we're going to rough down to start with. So we want to be just below the center point. So if you think the center point on the vertical of both the points of our tailstock and our headstock, we want to be just below that. I used to say, or I like to say, anything between 1/4 inch or 6 mil below center is fine. That works for the roughing gouge really quite well.
Center? So,
well, don't at this stage, if you get to the closest corner, so you've checked the corner, now you're going to turn every other corner. Look, we're hitting. So now adjust to just miss that corner. So tie it back up again. Then check the other. So I'd come back a little bit further, just a wee bit. I tend to work on sort of 1/8 of an inch. 3 mil. There we are. So everything's missing the tool rest. That's really important. If you don't do that and suddenly you turn the lathe on and something hits the corner of the tool rest, sometimes the tool rest will just move, the tailstock center will strip, but worst case scenario, it could come out of the lathe. So make sure everything's running free. Literally by doing that, you've made sure you haven't got a spindle lock on, for instance. If you've got a lathe that will still operate with the spindle lock on, you might have indexing on, there might be all sorts. So no surprises. So just make sure it's all running free. Now you've got the position right there. What I tend to do, just look that way. So what we want to do is make sure that where tool rest is just below. It looks high.
I mean, it's sitting with the bottom of the tip.
Drop it a little bit.
Okay.
Just a wee bit.
Is that enough? Or is that too much?
That's it. But now you've done that, check again. That's it. So every time you've moved something on here, just check And that done up nice and tight.
Tight by my standards, but maybe not by yours.
So a roughing gouge next. So we're going to concentrate on these tools here. So this is the beginner tools. So if you've got, say, a workshop machine instead of a professional machine, those are the sort of tools we would expect to have. So we're going to concentrate on those. I moved the workshop machine this morning. Otherwise we would have been on that one, but we just didn't. After all the cameras were set, we thought, oh, we won't move it back again. But we've got lots of projects coming up in the next few weeks and months where we're going to be using all the workshop machines, including the bench tops as well. So stick with us for those. We got a question.
Oh, we've got a question.
Ben, yes.
So we've got a question here, or more of a suggestion for Steph's new nickname.
Oh, okay.
We've got Steph the Spindle.
Steph the Spindle.
What do you think?
I mean, I don't mind it.
Well, let's leave that one open.
It's a bit long.
Keep them coming, everybody.
Bit long, but I don't mind it.
So we've got a question here from Wallad. He's asking, does Axminster sell wood blanks other than pen blanks?
Yes. So we've got a fair good range of local timbers to the UK. So oak, ash, sycamore, beech, elm. What else we got? I think we have some birch. So all those sorts of things, and they're in sizes 2x2. I'm going to go imperial 2x2 by 12, 3x3 by 12, and then we've got bowl blanks from 4x2s, 4x3s, all the way up to I think 10x3s and 10x4s. So there's a good mixture of them. Have a look on the website. If you put in timber blanks or put in the specific wood name, then you'll find them.
And then a question here from Marcel. He's asking, he says it's unrelated, but what's the recommended the drill hole size for the screw chuck, the C screw?
It depends on the timber density. If it's a very, very hard timber, I would probably go 8.5. I tend to stick with around about 7.5 to 8, depending if it's a really soft material. So if you're going like let's talk ash, it's a fairly universal timber, I would probably go to about an 8 mil drill bit. That works really, really well. But I would get yourself a bit of scrap wood, do a series of holes, see which is going to work for you. But yeah, 8 is the average, and a little bit bigger if it's a very dense timber. All right. Roughing gouge. So roughing gouge, we're going to start as if you've never picked up a turning tool before.
To be fair, it's been a while, so I feel like I haven't.
Did you use it, Ben? Did you use a roughing gouge on the pen?
Yes, but it's been 6 or 7 months.
Okay.
So it's been a while.
All right. Well, then
not a master pro wood turner.
But you're going to get quite a lot of sort of feedback from this bit of timber compared to a pen blank as well. So be prepared for that. So what we're going to do first is going to put the tool, once we've turned the lathe on in a moment, and found our safe running speed, of course. We're going to put the tool on the tool rest with the handle really quite low at this stage. Then gently touch on. Then we can lift the handle into the cut. The reason we do that, we get the right part of the tool touching at the right moment. If we go in blind, so we don't know where the handle should be, and then suddenly hit those top 2 points of the top of the roughing gouge, that can grab. So start low, and as you raise up, the cut becomes more aggressive the higher the handle. Okay. And this is why we didn't want to go too high, because the natural instinct, if you go too high with the handle, with the tool rest, then you have to lift the handle right the way up to make it cut. Suddenly the corners are touching. Again. Okay. And too low is the opposite. Too low, the corners are immediately touching, and then it's quite aggressive. It doesn't work very well. Okay. So lathe speed to 0.
I'm going to grab my visor first, though.
Grab your visor first.
Safety first.
Well done.
Got to sort the fringe out now.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The visor won't be coming off now, though.
Okay. Lathe speed to 0. Turn the machine on. And then turn the machine up to, gently at first, up to 1,000. Okay, now go up to 12. And that'll do us for the minute, I think. There we are. That's good. That'll do us for the minute. So tool on the tool rest, and your forward index finger on the tool rest. So that's going to be your guide on the tool rest as you start moving. Mm-hmm. Can you drop the handle a little bit more? That's it. Now touch on to the timber. Raise gently. About there. Now just gently run it to the right hand side. Keep the handle in line with the cutting edge as well, and don't press forward. Just down on the tool rest and just gently across. So let's just come out a little bit further. There we are. Nice and gently, nice and slowly as you move. So don't move across too quickly. Nice and slow. Slower. That's better. Now you're going to come right the way across, all the way right off the end, as if it wasn't there. Keep coming, then back along again. That's it, all the way along. So you don't have to press hard, you're just nice and gentle. So you're pushing that. Now everybody watch this, you're pushing that a little bit too hard. So what's actually happening is it's jerking along the tool rest in sections. So nice and light.
I don't feel like I'm pushing down. I feel like my finger's getting stuck.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe bring that back a little bit further then.
Okay.
What we want to do is the vibration from the timber almost creates an air pocket for it to then slide along that tool rest. Nice and gentle.
Okay.
Okay. So go on, keep going. I'm going to bring that cut back to there. Right off the end, and don't stop, keep going, then come back again. Gonna let go, you have control. Back again. That's it. Keep an eye on the tool handle. Make sure the tool handle follows the cutting edge. Don't let it stay behind. As you get more confident, then you can speed up a little bit further. You can take a deeper cut, but only when you're happy and comfortable to do so.
Oh, sorry.
Right. I think turning is one of those things. You find that the learning curve is quite a rapid one. So even from this last minute and a half, Steph first picks up the roughing gouge. It's a little bit sensitive to begin with, but already the tool is performing better. It's moving quicker. It's taking a nicer cut. That's it. Keep an eye on the tool handle. Remember, keep that in line with the cutting edge. And if you get too much of that aggressiveness from the tool, drop your handle down.
Okay.
The other thing we haven't spoken about, of course, is knots and burrs and things like that that are in the timber. Now with pine, you don't get burrs as such, not really with this type of timber that we're dealing with, but you do get a lot of knots, and they can be completely different in density. So you do have to fight those sometimes. Don't change anything. Take the same cut. You might have to just back off a little bit going over a knot, but it shouldn't be treated any differently, really. We'll just do a couple more cuts, then we'll stop the lathe and have a look just to see where we are. At that point, we can adjust the tool rest and we'll answer a few questions as well. Good. Should we stop there for the minute?
Yeah.
Stop another lathe. I think most people, when they first start turning and they start to use roughing gouge, get quite surprised the first time they turn the lathe off to discover actually how much timber is still left to remove.
Yeah.
But there you go.
That is true. There's still a lot.
Questions?
So yeah, a couple of questions here. The first one's from Ben. He's asking the best way to sharpen chisels, and I think he's looking at this one first, the roughing gouge.
The roughing gouge. Do you know, they're all a little bit different. We have done quite a few videos on sharpening, so I'll encourage you to have a look back at the Woodworking Wisdom sharpening videos. But in brief, the rough and gouge, we sort of aim toward a 45-degree bevel angle. It can be done within a jig, and there's plenty available for bench grinders and for things like Tormex. Or you can do it freehand, because the difference with a rough and gouge is it's got a flat grind on the surface, 45 degrees-ish on the bevel, so it's a clear rotation. When you move on to things like spindle gouges and bowl gouges, that's where things change a little bit, because you have wings on those. So as well as twisting, they have to arc at the same time. A little bit more complex to explain in words, so I'd encourage you to have a look at the videos on those. But this one's relatively simple. One of the first ones you're going to sharpen as well as use. And it's the first time somebody feels like a proper wood turner when they create shavings with one of these. I call it an icebreaker, this one.
It is.
Yes, Ben.
And Piro World is asking, why don't you teach to go at an angle instead of straight back and forth?
It's the way I've been brought up. Right from an apprentice, we've always learned to cut with the center. When that runs out, we'll twist the tool over, but not pivot. That because we don't, at this stage, we do not want the bevel rubbing. Maybe if you want a shearing cut, then we'll go with the angle, so to present more of a skew angle. But at this stage, no bevel rubbing, so it's a straight cut. When the middle goes blunt, tip them over. Use the wings to do the same job with a fresher edge.
And we just got Hodgepodge come in.
Hey.
It's lovely to meet you at SWAT, Colwin. Glad you survived the heat of Texas.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that was a real moment when you started talking to me, and they said, "I'm a Hodgepodge." Oh my goodness! It was like meeting a member of the family all of a sudden. No, it was a pleasure. It was really cool. It wasn't really cool. It was really warm, but it was nice. Let me just finish that so we can get the skew.
Go on then, because we'll be here all day otherwise.
I know. I'm just gonna, now we've taken the corners off, I'm just gonna turn the lathe speed up a little bit. And now, nice and gentle along the tool rest, so starting low, bring the handle up. Just running back and forward.
I like how you're deflecting all the chippings at me there.
Amazing, just a few degrees, what it makes. The other thing, we sort of joke about deflecting chipping, so I've got a slight tilt on it. I could, when that becomes blunt, that section there, I've got a few issues with it, with the focus end. When this area becomes blunt and we're in and out, let me just try and change. I might just come back with the camera just to change that focus on this lathe a minute, on this camera. Yeah, that's what I meant. Let's see if that makes a difference, everybody. So when that area becomes blunt, this is, no, it doesn't. When this area becomes blunt, I'm going to turn over to here, okay, and use the other side. So with all of these cuts, what I'm doing is using my thumb as a deflector just to stop it from coming up at me. So forward and then back. Forward and then back. So bear with us, everybody. We're just trying to sort out that camera. I think, is that done, Steph?
I think so.
Hey. Yeah, pop that out. Thanks, Ben. So yeah, what I was saying is, so we're using the right-hand side of the cutting edge. Then if that goes blunt, I can use the center, all that. But it will all come up at me if I allow it to. So my thumb just cocks up. And that just holds the shavings and makes them drop to the floor. Okay, let's stop and have a look. We've got the favorite tool. Everybody loves a skew. No better day than skew day.
But you're not letting me use the Colwin way skew.
We're not using the Colwin way skew because we're going to stick with the workshop tools. Okay, we'll go with that one. The Axminster Woodturning. Now, the difference between gouges and cutting tools like the skew is we're going to have the tool rest high now, because at the moment we're presenting a huge amount of timber in front of the tool rest. What happens then with the skew, because we're using the toe up, that will then grab in the timber and you get those horrible catches. I think I've showed you before what a catch. Shall I make one?
You can make one.
I'll make a quick catch with a skew because we know what we don't want to have happen.
I'll probably make one by accident.
No, you won't. So long point of the skew. So what we call the toe is the long edge. So if that grabs, and it's going to make a big bang, everybody, ready? That will happen all the time. And then usually shoulders come up, the grip gets really, really tight, and you make an even bigger catch. So anytime that happens, we're going to tighten up the tailstock again, and we're going to raise the tool rest, this time up above center by the same amount, 6 mil, 1/4 inch. Adjust the tool rests. So we were nice and close, nice and tight. And we're going to start again. Now, just before you do
Are you going to tidy that up?
Well, I can tidy that up. There you go. This is where we need to be. So if you can see, I don't know whether you guys at home can see this. I'm presenting the angle of the cutting edge here at about 45 degrees to the top line that you can see here. So if I come your way up, so let's say this is the top line here. Okay, this angle here is about 45 degrees to that top line. We're then going to be cutting with either the bottom half or the bottom third, depending on how confident you are. I prefer the bottom half. It gives me a larger area to play with. But if you're nervous with a skew, go for the bottom third. If the bottom heel touches only, you don't get a big catch like you do the top heel. All that happens is the shavings don't get thrown away, so you get a little woolly edge to follow. So what we need to have happen when we start cutting at 45 degrees, I'm going to rub the bevel. So you can hear that noise. As that bevel's rubbing, then I'm going to start raising the handle gently until I see dust and shavings on that bottom half or bottom third. Once that happens, then you can move along the tool rest, keeping an eye on where that shaving is being cut from, keep it in the bottom half. And that happens by keeping the handle following the cutting edge again. So handle and steel static together all the way along.
Good luck.
All right. And if, you know, what's the worst that can happen?
I mean, like a catch, it could go horribly wrong.
It's a catch. That's the thing. So just, I'll guide you through it, but bevel rubbing first.
And speed is fine because you had it up higher.
Speed is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all good with the speed. Corners are gone. So make contact only with the bevel at this stage.
Is that 45 degrees?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. And then lift very gently. There's your cut. Now run along. So probably drop the handle just the tiniest little bit. Drop the handle down a wee bit.
That is a wee bit.
Wee bit more.
It's not touching now.
That's it. And then readjust. You just came up a little bit too far, that was all. That's it. Now move. So I'm just going to come around the other side. So we're just going to about 45 there. Now run towards me.
Your 45 and my 45 look different.
All right, then my turn. All right, run all the way along. So your left hand is dominant here. The right hand is just literally keeping the tool in position. The left hand is doing all the moving. Now you're going over a low spot there. Let that happen. Right off the edge. Right, try that again on your own.
I'm not going to lie, I wasn't keen. That felt weird.
Smoother finish now. Let's see. So rub the bevel first.
Yeah. That?
Yeah. And then run this way. So we're just going to twist it slightly.
I feel like I'm like twisting my arms.
Yeah, so let me show you. Ben, put the main camera on a minute. So if we're cutting from left to right, if you're a right-hander, you can cut from right to left facing the lathe, but the minute you go that way, the right foot twists around, which immediately pivots the body. At that point, you can push the chisel away from you. If you try and do it when you're here, this will always happen. Okay, so handle away, and then you're able to push. Okay, so pivot that right foot round, the body immediately turns around, and then you can push away. Face the machine again when you want to cut from right to left. Did you get that?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Have a rub in.
See, I still feel like I'm catching the top.
Then don't.
But I don't understand how you don't.
Well, keep it on the top. See where it is. Rub the level. Keep an eye on that top. Keep an eye on that top. Look for the shavings. There it is. Then you can move.
Yeah, I don't get it.
All right. You will.
Okay.
Was it 1,000 hours, they reckon?
Oof.
There we are. How long?
But I feel like you're doing all the work. So if you take your hand away, it's not going to work.
Oh, it won't at the moment because we've just dug in there. So let's come a little bit further. Drop the handle with it. Now, with your left hand, push forward.
Yeah, no.
Keep going, keep going. Keep going. Just going to raise. There you go. Minute little twist. Let's just take a closer look at what's happening there. So when you have that little frill around the piece turn up, that's because we're cutting on the bottom heel, not that bottom half.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the only reason to stay away from that, really. The heel's used for other things, for decoration and for creeping up to sort of features and things like that. But yeah, concentrate on this one. Now, there's no other way around getting to use the skew well apart from practicing and playing with it. And this is a practice piece that I've been doing for about 25 years in courses, and it's taken directly out of Keith Rowley's foundation course. There's a course book and DVD, Keith Rowley's foundation book. It's about 40 years old, but still extremely relevant as to what we do, especially for beginners. So Keith Rowley's foundation course. So on the Axminster website, if you put Keith Rowley's foundation course, you'll have that come up. But it's practice.
I need more time practicing, don't I?
You do. An hour isn't long enough, but we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. So
I think we've got a question.
Questions.
Yes, we've got a question here from the Artful Bodger. They're asking, they say they made an enclosure for their lathe with a polycarbonate visor and dust collection. It's very nice to turn without a face shield and find dust collection. Does Axminster make something like that?
No.
I don't think I've seen one of those.
No.
It sounds great.
So some of the lathes, some of the big machines that we used to do came with like a cage, which was fantastic, but really restrictive. You couldn't physically get underneath it, that sort of stuff. I love the idea of turning without a visor and things like that, because they can be a little bit claustrophobic, especially in the weather that the world's going through at the moment. But yeah, no, I haven't seen anything really. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
So we've got just lots of we've got Hodgepodge here saying that he's never seen a skew catch before. He said, "Oh, that's what it looks like."
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Some really nice words of encouragement from Maria.
Thank you, Maria.
From the Artful Bodger and the Gentleman Woodturner. So they're all saying you're doing great.
Thank you.
Yeah. The thing is that we've all been here. We know exactly what you're going through. And
not live on YouTube, though.
Well, the thing is, not live on YouTube.
Not for the first time.
YouTube wasn't around when I started doing it anyway. I don't think, nor with mobile phones, but there.
True.
It's just a case of practicing and knowing why things go wrong. That's one of the biggest things. If you know why something is going wrong, it takes a lot quicker to put them right. The journey is a lot easier. You know what to avoid as much. It's not as easy avoiding them. It's still not easy avoiding them, but yeah, it should make your practicing a bit quicker.
Well, at least I've got you here to tell me where I'm going wrong. And Ben.
You have for the next half hour.
We've got some really lovely comments saying you got the best skew teacher helping you.
Hey,
you've got the master there.
So. Come on, have we got any questions?
Guys?
Yeah, but really good.
Right, keep practicing that, and then we're gonna roll a bead.
Oh God!
I know you haven't gone from right to left yet, but keep going this way first.
Do I have to?
Bevel rubbing first, and then lift into the cut. That's it.
What am I doing wrong?
Nothing yet.
Oh, good.
Barely moved an inch yet. Don't know.
All right.
Just keep going. Got to give yourself a chance, and again, it's a beginner's issue that you need to feel what it's not when it's not right to know when it is. So you just keep going, doing what you're doing. See, that was good. That's going good. You get a little bit of vibration every now and again. There are things like knots and lumps and bumps there. This is what we call bevel bounce. So all I'm going to do for bevel bounce is just lift gently and take some of that pressure off. Now push forward. There we are. And I would... There we are. Stop there. Do one more of those, and then we're going to cut from right to left.
Okay.
Bevel rubbing first.
No.
Yeah, full bevel rubbing first. I used to call it reset the tool, and everybody would ignore what I was saying. So bevel rub first. Even lower.
Lower?
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't got enough space to put my fingers, to be honest.
Let me just do one thing for you. Let me get rid of that. There's a big lump there. Yeah, I'll come back that way now.
Sorry. Is that all right?
Yep. Yeah, you don't, it's surprising you don't actually need a massive cut. So just away from that heel muscle. There we go. Push forward, push forward, push forward. I think you're trying to get too big a cut, so just keep that sliding along the tool rest. Handle down a bit. Right. Push forward. Right, so a much smaller cut than you think you need. All right. Keep that bevel rubbing on the timber all the time. Keep going. That's that knot there. Skirt over that little hollow. Flip over. Now, face the lathe. You're going to mirror what you've just done. So 45 degree going the other way this time. That's it. So same
Can
hands.
I hold it like that?
Come, bring your shoulders more square to the lathe. Right hand on the handle.
Like
there
that?
you go.
Okay.
Because you're right-handed, aren't you?
I'm right-handed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought you wanted me to change my hands around then. I thought this isn't going to work.
So take the skew from that side and flip it over to the other side. That was it. So
Right.
Same thing, bevel rubbing and bottom half doing the cutting. That's it.
Oh.
Now make sure that that handle follows that cutting edge. So that means that you need to swivel over with the hips. That's
So
it. The
rocking.
whole body comes over. Let me do a demo.
That's probably a good idea.
At the moment, you're all over here. So by the time you get to this point, you're going to be falling over.
Yeah.
So you want to plant your feet down, then lean into the cut, and then bring those hips over. So the whole body's now swaying, even though my feet are staying in one place. Handles moving at the same point as the skew. Handles moving at the same speed, as the cutting edge. All right, so from there, move all the way over. Bevel rubbing.
Sorry. Is that bevel rubbing?
Not as much pressure. That I can hear by the noise from the bevel that you're planting it down a little bit too heavy.
Is that that?
That's it, yeah. Come away from that tip a little, that's better. Less pressure. Try and make that noise stop. So take some of that pressure away.
I don't know if I can put any less pressure on.
And just again, quick demonstration. All right, about half as much pressure than you think you need.
Start from the beginning again?
Yeah. She only gone and cracked it.
It's easier that way.
There you go.
Why is it easier that way than that way?
That's right. Might be your preference. Absolutely. It depends on who you are, which way you find easier. If that does happen, if you are finding it easier traveling from one direction to the other, do all of your learning that way. And when you get really good at it, then just flip over and try and go the other way. You'll find it, you've conquered a lot of the pressures. You sort of understand, you get that muscle memory, like riding a bike scenario. And you'll find that cutting the other way should become a lot easier for you. You have to be able to do both, because the timber might decide, actually, I don't like being cut in that direction. So you might have to cut the other way. You literally, I don't mean to say anything so finished, 100% improvement than the last cut. The last cut was 100% improvement than the other cut. It's getting better and better. I mean, look, we're going to stop and just check that out.
There's a little bump there. What are you laughing about?
How clean that is.
Ben's laughing.
There you go. So while that's brilliant, let's roll some beads.
Okay.
That's that.
Can I roll them all that way?
That learning curve was huge. Then that was ace. I've got a pen. Let me grab a pencil a minute.
Okay.
Grab one for each. That was brilliant. So,
thank you.
Perfect.
Great tuition, right?
Let's roll some beads. So let's go 30 mil, inch and a quarter. Literally just pop. Do so everybody can see. Just do the whole thing.
You say it like I'm really good at knowing what an inch and a quarter is just off the cuff.
30 mil.
Again, I'm a videographer, photographer. I don't know these things. Is that about right?
Yeah.
Also, I'm running out of lead. I feel like I want to avoid the knot, though.
No, don't avoid the knot.
Oh, okay.
No, all the best smells and the best features come from all these flaws and, well, not flaws, features in timber. Halfway in the middle. There we are.
Okay.
So now I'll do one and then you just repeat.
Thank you.
So let's, because we've got a certain amount of time. So let's do 3.
Okay.
I'll do one, you then do another couple. So this is on camera, yeah. So I'm going to use the long point of the skew in with a single cut.
Okay.
You can't go too far because the cheeks, the bevel of the tool will prevent you from doing that. All you're doing is replacing the pencil line.
Okay.
Then a slight tilt, and you're going to work slightly outside the line. Look where the handle is. I'm in line with that cut. So the actual handle's off camera, everybody, but it's dead in line with the cut.
Yeah.
And all I'm going to do is push forward. And then we're going to tilt the other way and do the same thing.
Okay.
And that's referred to as a V-cut because of its profile that's left behind.
Yeah.
So if you do another 3 of those.
Okay.
The biggest thing there, in fact, we'll do it a little bit at a time for you. So straight first.
Can I do all 3 of them straight?
Yeah, do all 3 just to get used to that one cut. Lovely. Now, very, very slight tilt to the left and give yourselves 1/16 millimetre and a half.
Does that look right?
Yeah. Engage the tip of the tool.
Yeah.
That's it. Push forward. That's it. That's it. Now do the same the other side. Just tilt the other way. That's it. Do it again. Keep going. You want to match now the depth of the other V. So keep going until you're at the same depth.
Well, that's quite deep.
The most important thing with this cut is engage the tip of the tool before you push forward.
So what? Do you lift it quite level?
No, just push forward. As you get deeper, then you can start lifting the handle, yeah. That's it. How are we looking?
Not far off.
Yeah, one more
In fact, I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, do the other 2 the same.
Okay.
Remember, engage the tip of the tool first and then push forward. Yep. Perfect. Just slow it down a bit. You're sort of stabbing at it a bit too much now. Nice and slow. Push forward. That's better. Better speed. Just think, everybody, we haven't changed the speed. Once we've got established that safe running speed and we've knocked the corners off, we use the same speed to finish the roughing down, to use the planing cuts, to do the V cuts, and eventually to roll the beads as well.
That's a bit wonky, that one.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Last one. Good.
It's a bit wonky again, but
All right.
I think I maybe tilted that way a bit more than I tilted that way.
So you've got a deeper slant on one side than the other?
Yeah, so it's more tilted that way and less tilted that way.
Which would be an interesting thing, because when you start rolling beads, you will probably find the same thing happens.
Okay.
Just to start with, again, is understanding why that happens. And what it is again, you're right-handed, so the preference is to have the handle slightly further over to the right-hand side, because your body's here.
Yeah.
Okay? What you got to concentrate on is central.
Yeah.
Tilt the same, tilt the same.
Okay.
What tends to happen is your body moves over, so you go central, tilt, not the same, tilt, dissimilar.
Yeah, I'm with you. That makes sense.
All right. So
Yeah.
when you roll the bead, we're going to be trying to get central again. Otherwise, your bead will have a tight curve one side and a shallow curve the other.
I mean, I could make that a feature.
You could make it a feature in certain instances. We do. Right.
So your turn now,
We're
though.
going to roll them. Let me just do another. I'll do this bead here, and I'll
Okay.
you do the other two. So let's do this one. So another pencil line. I tend to use this as a sight line. It's just a visual aid, really, and so that's going to be the top of the bead, and we can then evenly distribute our cuts down. Excuse me, down and away from that. So first cut is going to be there. Next cut is going to be there, and then we slowly work back, starting each cut closer to center. This time, using the heel of the tool, so the short point. So rub in the bevel, and tilt into the corner. There. So look, suddenly there's a little burr.
Yeah.
Little burry line. We're going to chase that down the V. First cut. Start a bit further back. Same thing. A bit further back. One more. By the time I finish, chisel standing upright.
Okay.
Okay. Same thing on this side. Start with a bevel rubbing, so into the heel.
And you stand in the same position for both directions.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what we got to notice.
Okay.
The handle is actually in line with the cutting edge again.
Yeah.
As you pivot round, though, what happens? That happens. So it's like locking the wrist in position and twisting. Okay.
Mhm.
That then stands that tool up. We need one more cut on that side.
So then, unlike the skew planing one, where your left hand was more of the force to keep it in place, and your right hand was supporting the tool handle, this is the other way around. So your right hand is controlling the tool, and your left hand's just supporting.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. All
Cool.
right.
Yeah.
Before you have your go, let
Okay.
me just show you what happens when it doesn't quite go right.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm concentrating on the handle staying in line with the cut, but swinging out, and the bottom heel doing the cutting. So I get that little line that I follow all the way down. Okay, if I don't get that right and I start cutting above there, so let's say the bottom third or half, and then pull the handle toward me, that'll happen immediately. And so that is a little spiral grab. Okay, quite a common thing, that one. Then all that's happening is the heel isn't guiding you. The handle's brought out to about out this way. So like this. In turn, that levers the bevel off the work. So the only thing in contact with the timber now is cutting edge. And of course, it just wants to run up to a larger diameter. So that's the reason for keeping the handle where it is, because then the bevel can rub all the way down the bead and support the cut.
Okay.
All right. So give that a go. Pencil on the center first.
Mm-hmm. So
put your centers on both those beads.
So that's a big centre on the second one.
Yeah, you got certainly more places to play there. The short heel, and you're gonna make your first cut about there, next cut there, and so on, getting closer each time. So rub the bevel, come around the other side, rub the bevel, go nice and low with the handle. That's it.
Like that?
Yeah. Roll into the heel. Just handle further to you.
Sorry.
Yeah, handle further to you. There's no bevel rubbing at that point. So even further, Right, twist over there. Now rub the bevel. Twist, 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 twist. And do that again. We're going to twist more than you think. There. Now push over. That's it. Now it's all you. So there again, twist into that heel. That's it. Keep twisting, twisting, twisting. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Love it. And again, further back. That's brilliant. You just stopped a little bit early then.
Sorry.
Just keep,
I didn't want to go down into the middle, to be honest.
No, you keep going and go right the way over. Just watch where that handle is, keep them round to your left.
Is that right?
Yeah. So before you move, stop, go back to the beginning. Before you move, make sure that bottom heel is actually caught and is straightly cut. Now you can go. Just do down there, do that again.
I feel like it's sliding up.
Yeah, so this hand needs to push this way.
Okay.
So, down with the handle. That's it. Now twist. Now with your right thumb, push across. Around. Keep going. Push forward. There. All right, that's enough on that side.
Oh no.
Yeah, try the other side. You may find that that's easier.
Right. There?
Yeah. Twist. Yeah, and again. Yeah, lovely. Yeah. Yeah, keep going. I think one more of those.
I've missed a bit though.
I think you do. Just go back in again.
Okay.
So what we'll do is, all right, twist forward. Round with that heel. Right, now we'll just keep going. Don't bring the handle out too far. Upright. All right. So it's just twisting more than you thought you had to.
Okay.
That gives you more of a curve.
Right.
Next one.
Back to that side.
That was quite a big cut for the first
one. Sorry, I
wasn't
didn't mean to.
So a little bit of a smaller cut this time.
Smaller?
Right, keep going. I didn't hear much bevel rubbing. That was the only thing I was concerned of there. So about there. Rub the bevel. Roll into your corner. And then roll over. All the way. Try the other side.
Other side?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's it. Roll into the corner. Over. If, for instance, it's not cutting, it's sort of stalled on you, just be patient, just wait. Eventually it will push through. It's just slowed up a little bit, that's all. That's it. Roll over. Roll. And the shape is, I think, one more cut of those and you'll be there.
Something happened there.
You did get that. You did get right at the end. You got that one, and the shape is good.
It's a bit of a bump there, but
what, in the very middle?
Just that bit there.
Oh, yeah, that'll stand out.
That'll stand out. That's all right then.
Stand out. I think that's pretty good.
It's not bad.
For your first 2 beads.
Oh, I did that, didn't I?
That was a lapse of concentration.
It was.
You weren't on the tool rest when you touched the timber. That was all that was. I think before we start another one,
yes.
I think we're going to call that it. We'll just recap of what we've done, because we haven't used any gouges or anything like that yet, and I think they deserve a decent amount of time, because we've got to think about concave cuts, and all those sorts of things, and that's really, really important for a spindle turner and a bowl turner, a wood turner in general, really. So I think we've covered quite a lot there. We've done a rough and gouge.
Yeah.
We looked at the skew, or the start of the skew, which is the planing cuts.
Yeah.
And then dividing up, using the skew to do V-cut with a long point.
Yes.
And rolled over with the heel.
Yeah.
By the time we do this again, Steph would have had a bit more practice, probably the rest of this afternoon or tomorrow morning, and finish the rest of these beads. So we'll see the progress when we come back to you. I reckon we could probably get the next session of this spindle work done in about 6 weeks' time. I would have thought we could probably plan that in or something, and then we'll have a look at seeing how we use the gouges to create those coves and OGs and all those sorts of things.
Sounds good to me.
All right,
I'll be back for more.
So you'll be back for more. Well, hopefully.
I will practice between now and then.
But you know, for your first time on a proper size spindle, with real resistance, you know, and using the skew chisel to roll beads and stuff like that, I think that's brilliant. The planing cuts were the best thing there. The last 2
so
cuts
much
on your
easier
planing,
going that way.
There you go.
So much easier, but it's very different to obviously doing the pen, because obviously I've used the skew and I've used the rough and gouge doing the pen. But like I say, it feels like there's more resistance. Like it is a bit tougher. But I have enjoyed it. So thanks for having me again.
Well done.
And I'll be back for more.
We got more questions.
Oh, we got more questions.
So we've got lots of really nice, encouraging comments and stuff.
Nice fringe.
There's questions here. Are we getting a his and hers lathe?
Well,
probably just a hers, I expect.
Depends how well I get on with my practice.
I think what you don't know is they already have a his and hers lathe. You're not fighting over it just yet.
No, but give it time.
Yeah.
Come Christmas.
Maria, I wasn't trying to put her off by coughing in the background. That's just the tickly throat. But yeah, lots of nice encouragement, top teaching, and question here from Dawn. She's a wheelchair user, but her upper body's good. Do you think it's possible to use a lathe?
Yeah, absolutely. There's be no difference. The only difference that you're going to need is just to adjust it to suit your height. And so every wheelchair user has a different height, so you just adjust it to get your height right. But no, absolutely. I mean, there are specific lathes out there for seated turning or wheelchair access, which actually pivot towards you. But we've done it before where we've taught people in wheelchairs, and we understand that we just have to change the height of the legs. And so we've made our own legs to adjust up and down. So that's all you need to work out really, is actually where can I get my legs under if you want to put them under. I know wheelchair users use the lathe actually in side position as well, so the legs will be this way to the lathe. That I found just looks to me a little bit uncomfortable. So it's got to suit your needs and what you want from it really. So you got to make it bespoke to you and your height. You know, like I say, we're all different. So I decide that first, how you want to approach the lathe, front or side, and then sort out the height for you. And there is no difference. It's the same sort of thing. You might find that you have to turn a little bit higher, but the general rule is elbow height to center height. I like my lathes higher than that. Okay, so everybody's a little bit different. I like them just a wee bit higher. So yeah, once you've decided on the height, then absolutely, let's get it made to suit you. That's all you need. All good? I'll let you close.
Oh, well, thanks for watching today for another Woodworking Wisdom. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you more next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.